Hello, and welcome to your weekly astrology transits. And today we start out this week kind of where we were last week. And let me just go back a little bit here for you so you can see. Um, dun, dun, dun. Let's go where Mercury. We're going to look at this grand trine because this has been in effect. It's not been perfect, but parts of it gets a little bit more exact. But here last Sunday, I think we mentioned this, but I want you to see it just growing here. It's when Mercury moved into Scorpio, um, it started to make a trine by sign, not by degree, over here to um, Saturn. Oh, and then I'm being sidetracked here by the moon. The moon's going, yeah, yeah, me too. Both of these in Pisces. So it was like right on with, at this time last week, right on with the moon, but it was there with Saturn all week and then over to Mars. See, Mars is now 21 degrees, or last week at 21 degrees of Cancer, the other water sign. So we see this trine here. And then, as the moon changed over last week. It went over Saturn and then Neptune, and it kept that trine in. So it sort of the trine started out with the moon moving through it. So we go on to today. We're moving through last week. Watch Mercury up here. It gets closer to Saturn, and we're moving to today, the 22nd. And you see it's moving fast. See, it's like from yesterday to today, moving 2 degrees a day. Look at that, just about. So it went over Saturn during the day, yesterday or night. You see 12 degrees, Saturn over here, 13. And then to today, it's past at 14. But they're still in trine by sign, let's just call it, over to Mars, but they're not by, it's such a wide orb. Um, it's not all together all at once at the same degree, but it's still in effect. Okay, so this is still happening. And then as we get toward the end of the month, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep watching fast Mercury right there. See, it's flying. See the Sunday, Monday, 28th. Next week will be right there. Um, right there, the 24th. I'm sorry, right there, 24 degrees. 25 or 30th, 31st, right on Halloween, it was 27 degrees, and it's still in that trine. Because Saturn is not going to move that much. It's moving retrograde, so it's moving kind of farther out of orb. But nonetheless, it's still, we have this water trine, which I hope is buffering a little bit of this crazy energy that we have coming up. All right, I want to say that first. Remember, these are all conversations. The trine is more of uh, an ease and flow, a opportunity, speaking nicely, having consideration, working together. Not just being so focused on your part, but you paying attention to the other person's part, and working together with seeing what they need and you need to keep that flowing. And being in water signs, it's very much more flowing and I would say more, feeling and intuitive. So apply this to your life, look at things in your chart that are having conversations with these planets. See how they're affecting you. But just in the mundane world, we have this kind of a little bit of an ease, a little bit of a let up, it would seem, this last week. And we have this little bit of a let up, or this little bit of a silver lining, or kind of in the background, nice energy. So that being said, we come into today and we start looking at numbers. We look at degrees, right? This is how we look at things, and we try to figure out what it is. So seeing the sun at 29, 29 always, my mind catches at first because it's like an intense critical degree. It's like something changing, into the next, and the same with 0 degree. Okay, so we go 29, and then we see 29 over here, and then we look at the conversation. We say it's a conversation between the sun and Pluto. Let's just say that first. Don't say anything else. Don't worry about anything else. So we go sun, um, illumination, ego, lighting things up, searching for truth, um, your innate will or spirit, and it's in a conversation with the Lord of death, death trans, moving on, transition, hell, the gates of hell, oil, nuclear energy, gnarly things, um, kind of just raw stuff. And then we go, okay, so son's having a conversation here. You automatically, I don't know, I do, my asshole tightened up. It's like, uh-oh. It's like your mother says, when you get home from school, your father wants to talk to you or something, like all day. You're like, oh my God. And then this conversation, we look to see what it is, and we see it is between a cardinal sign and another cardinal sign. We have Libra and Capricorn, and we know that any quality, cardinal to cardinal, is going to be one of two things. If it's not right with it, the conjunct, of course, it's going to either be a square or an opposition. So that's how the cardinal energies go. So this one is square. It's not opposing it, it's a square. And that is like even I don't know, for me, I'm just squares, at least the opposition, you've got the polarity, you've got some distance. The square is just a hard turn. It is action oriented. It is, challenging. It does make you move and it produces results. So let's look at what this could really kind of mean. I mean, this is every year, right? This is a transit of the sun. Every year the sun will make a square to Pluto somewhere. But this is interesting. I think we even talked about this before. This is going to be the last time it's going to square Pluto in a cardinal sign for a while. Uh-huh. So because Pluto's going to go into Aquarius November 19th, I believe. It's going to move into there. And the next square will be a fixed square. So this is about authority. This is about law. This is about maybe something maybe not going in your favor. Or I should say it this way: if you're on the or if you're on the winning side, but law and how things get doled out don't always agree. And being that this is, Pluto is in Capricorn, that is the authoritarian, that is the old world, that is the structure, that is the hierarchy, that is the hierophant, that is the old regime, making a square with this nice Libra sun. The Libra sun is like about balance, people. Hey, this isn't fair. Hey, this has got to be worked out. This has got to transform. You can't leave it like this. No, this will not do. We will not stand for this. So this is this going on. This is this conversation between these two planets. And this will ensue, but right now, this is what's happening. Now, this is interesting, a little foreshadowing. Then later, well, like already by now, let's go a couple hours because today the sun moves into Scorpio right there. It's 7 o'clock Eastern time, and the sun moves in there. Now, this is interesting. Sun, sun is in Scorpio. Here we have Mercury in Scorpio. There's a couple things I wanted to point out here. We're going into this depth here before we before we move into something. We have this. I was trying to wait to get to it, but this is just looming. We see this Mars opposing Pluto. This is more of this, kind of funky energy. This is real funky energy. This is a force to be reckoned with, and this is going to spill over into the election, into the next year, into what happens. And I feel, okay, this is going to be, when something is going, we have Mars transit. So Mars is going to go into Leo, and then it's going to retrograde, and then it will go back and oppose Pluto again. And then it will oppose it it'll oppose it again, I think January 7th. Really, no crap, right? Right, that day, uh-huh. Um, it's these cycles are there. It's going over there. There is a wrinkle there in space and time on January 6th, that event. It's not right. It wasn't publicized right. It wasn't recorded right. It wasn't talked about right. It's just more propaganda stuff. There's a lot of things that need to be ironed out about that, and that's what this is going to do. One of the things it's going to do, because it's shaking it's pulling the scab off the wound at that time, and that's the retrograde hit. And then in April, I can't remember the day at the moment, it will go over it the third time going forward. But it will be in Aquarius then. Uh, so, but Mars, we have this martial energy. Mars here in Cancer is all about home and family. It's about, don't, Leonard Skinner, give me back my bullets. Don't take what's right, what's mine. Don't mess with my family. Don't, mess with my kin. It's like mama bear energy. Mars in cushy Cancer there. It's protective. It's outspoken. It's more of a cause. I think, even though it's not in its happy place, it gives Mars more of a cause than just being a warrior for the sake of being a warrior. This is like, protecting the home, protecting the country. And we're opposing the authority, Pluto in Capricorn. All right. So I just want you to see something. So just watch this. I'm just going to move ahead here. And it goes, look, it exactly poses it the day before the election. Look, like 2 days, day and a half, whatever. Look at that. You can't make this crap up. This is going to be a stinker, right? Okay, so here's the first hit. Now let me just go fast. I just want you to watch this a second. Okay, so now it's in watch Mars down here in the bottom. Okay, it's in Leo. And we're going to wait for it to slow down and then go retrograde, but we're going to watch it on there it's going. So it's already gone retrograde right there. When is it? Darn, I didn't look at it. I was looking at something else. Crap. Okay, right there. December like 6th, 7th, there, 7th. It goes retrograde at 6 Leo. Now, as we get closer to January 7th, look, it's backing up, backing up, backing up. See, look at Pluto is already there in Aquarius, right? It went in, I forgot to show you, but it's okay. It already in Aquarius. So Mars here on the backward hit, it's going to be, it's almost exact here. Let me just go get it exact. I already passed it. There, January. Okay. Anyway, it's like it's almost there. I mean, it was like just a few days before, so it's coming into that orb right on that January 6th time. We get that, we get that exact opposition there, January 2nd. I'm sorry, I thought it was the 7th, 2nd. But that's in orb there. So it's it's in effect. It kind of goes out a little bit, but now we've got the opposition again, but it's in fixed signs. So we're going to get a different conversation here than this one that we're going to have in the beginning of November. All right, just wanted you to see that. Just wanted you to see that. And then I'm not going to step through to April. There'll be plenty of time before that. So we'll go over that again, but just wanted you to see that one. All right. So that's interesting. All right. So what does that mean? Well, I mean, we have that authoritarian. We're going to have something come up, something against authority, and then it's going to be more the voice of the people are going to be heard, but it's going to take until January. Yeah, I want you to see it. Okay, and then I don't think the resolve is going to be until it goes, passes it in April. That's my thoughts. Okay. So now, what else do we got going on here? I like to look at things in, it's like I'm seeing this, we already talked about this trine, the water trine here. And then the sun is going to make the same trine. As the sun gets closer to this, 13, 14 degree spot of Scorpio, so it'll get, in the middle of the month, it will make the trine over here to Saturn, and then well, it already is, but it already is, by sign, but not by degree. But it'll move on by degree as it goes through the whole month. It will be first to Saturn and then second to Mars. So Sun, with the Sun coming there this next month, we still continue with this water trine. Mercury's kind of handed the baton off to the Sun. So Mercury's like, all right, I've told you the truth. Now you illuminate it, Sun. Come on, Mercury. I'm Mercury. I'm all about, finding things. I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm communicating about stuff. Now I need you to light it up. So this is what's going to be happening as the sun deepens into, I feel, into November. Um, I think whatever the result of this election, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to have to be reorganized and raked over. It's just kind of like, how do I say it? Um, oh gosh, you're cleaning something. Like I was at my dad's. I was cleaning up over there, and I'm wanting to clean up a lot of the stuff on his counter. Old man bachelor place. I had moved everything so then I can clean it, and then I'm looking around for paper towels. There's no paper towels, so I got to go find paper towels. Paper towels. Now I got to go find a rag. Okay, gotta find some rags. Make sure the rags are clean to finally get back to what I was doing. Okay, so that's kind of how this energy is going to be. It's like a lot of stuff in the way. It's going to be like piled up like that. It's like we can't get back to this until this is resolved. But I can't do this because there's nothing here. We got to go over here. It's going to be a mess. And this is like foreshadowing how this is going to just pile up like that. Okay, so sun has got to do some illuminating, but it's going to be after the fact. Like, look, it's not going to be there. When will the sun be there? Almost there. Sorry, my eyes jumping right there. All right, so there, but now it's moved back. Okay, so okay, right there on the third. Look, it just so happens that the sun is going to be trining Neptune right then on the day, a couple days before. Isn't that interesting? So maybe something might come to light. Uh, okay, so that's going to go on, so we'll see, how some of this stuff moves on. But anyway, I just had to, you got to look a little longer sometimes when these things are lining up. Okay, so back to all of this. So anyway, the Mercury trine Saturn that we talked, we started out with all of this, you know, digging deep, serious information. Mercury's cooperating with Saturn. It's like, yes, sir, I'll dig deep. I'll do it here. Yes, So that's what the biggest thing we have here. And then the moon moving, going through Cancer, it's adding more to the water. When this whole trine kicked off, it was in Pisces, and now as those two are trining more, then we got the moon going over here, and it will buddy up with Mars, in a few hours or tomorrow. Okay, a lot on that, but that was kind of set the stage for a whole lot that's coming. Wednesday, mainly a lot of moon aspects. The moon is finishing up in Cancer, so it's going to oppose Pluto, before it moves into, into Leo. And then Leo, when it's into Leo, it will, we'll just go over there. It will hit up with all these fixed signs. So early degrees, it will square over to the sun. That's a fixed sign. Now we're going fixed sign hunting because we're looking at the squares. And then as it gets later degrees, it's going to go over here to thank you, to Mercury. So we got moon on Thursday, kind of, first making square to sun, square to Mercury. So there might be some things not budging, some things not going your way, some feelings may not be recognized. Somebody might tell you something and you don't believe it, or you might tell somebody something and they don't believe it. Somebody wants to get you motivated to something and it's not. It's a fixed energy. It's like resistant. What else do we got? Anything fixed over here? No. Anything fixed over here to Uranus? So we got the moon also making, fixed energy, another square over to Uranus. So here's some maybe sudden, out of the blue, emotional freedom or blow up. This seems more like a lashing, a tongue lashing, or a blow up, or saying the F word repeatedly. Okay. Oh, back Thursday. Mars over here, it's making a nice sextile over to Uranus. So it's kind of maybe calming the moon down a little bit. Mars will say, I'll go deal with it, and then it can instigate. Here could be something, um, energy to bring something forth, energy to bring something out of the blue, energy to bring something outside of the box, unconventional, but yet secure and realistic. It's in, it's in Taurus, so it's got to be, it's got to be solid. It's got to be, steady. It's got to be safe, you know, that kind of energy. All right, Friday. The moon, is going to be in, and again, a whole lot of a moon moves fast, but it could be some. I mean, there's some uncomfortable stuff. So the moon is going to not be in a good conversation with Saturn. If they either that quincunx, it's going to be a little uncomfortable depending on where you are in the world. You might feel a little bit of that. The moon will also square Mercury. So maybe what you used to say more that again, not liking to either what you're saying or what somebody's saying or what you're hearing. You're not, you feel, your gut, you don't feel it, just not feeling it. But it will sextile Jupiter. So there could be some big, and this could also blow it up, blow it up maybe more intensely or more out of proportion. So watch that on Friday. Things tendency to blow out of proportion a little bit. Let's see, we talked about that moving into orb. And if we move into the weekend, got moon in Virgo. So Virgo moon is really a lot about getting stuff done. It's about organizing, making lists, spring or fall cleaning, getting rid of things, putting things in order, organizing, all about that. And it's a great weekend for it. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's usually a lot better weather. Most of the country, it's cooler, especially in the South where we feel like doing things. Clean up after these horrible storms. Oh God, it's terrible. Anyway, Virgo moon, Saturday, definitely. Get her done. Get her done. All right, what else? That's kind of it. I mean, there's moon can, being in Virgo, it can niggle, like nitpick and stuff over with Venus. It's gonna, we got a mutable sign. So there may be a little like dissatisfaction, moon opposing a Saturn, and then you see in a couple of days Venus will square Saturn. So we get these little niggles or uncomfortable or having to be responsible or having instead of buying the tie-dyed cloth, you're going to opt to get the plain white one. It's more functional or whatever, right? That's kind of like this conversation. Okay. See, there it is the next day, Sunday. It goes into that square. So it starts on Saturday. Use the Virgo energy of that square, I mean, with that square and that opposition to get things done. This is really like putting in order, basically, because Venus is into the picture. But Venus is a little bit far thinking, which is nice because Saturn is muddled and then the moon is nervous. So, and then actually it's a big square because we got it says out of orb, but it's still there. Jupiter in Gemini. So that will, tend to expand things. So maybe be careful not take on too much. The projects you take on might be, like I said, it's going to open up. It's like I wouldn't have washed the counter had I known I didn't have paper towels. Check for the paper towels first, or bring your own. Make sure you got something before you get like, oh crap, now there's none of these, and there's not that, and I've already oh crap, and I've already moved this. So before you head headlong into something, double check a little bit all the way through. See, because it got this mutable energy, and that's what happens with mutable stuff. It falls apart, it fuzzes out. You forget something that's crucial. I'm going to go clean windows. I forgot the window cleaner. Jeez, how could I be so stupid? Right? Something like that. So that's basically that type of energy. And it's square, which is going to maybe, the square, a mutable square is not so hard as than a fixed square. So it's like there's still energy to put things in order. And then it's the mutable energy won't make it such a taskmaster and hard and feel like a slave driver kind of energy. Yeah. All right. Okay, coming into Monday. Um, well, a couple nice conversations. Well, we already talked about the Venus square Saturn, and that could work again by maybe having a little wider vision um, of structure. Okay, but then Mars on Monday, Mars, we have a trine over to Neptune. So here again, it could be maybe using a little dream, maybe a wider vision. It's like, okay, if I do this, then I can do this, and that would be better in the long run. So let's see, if I clean that real good and I put primer on it, and then I put the paint on top, that'll stay even longer or whatever, you know. So it's going to lead you to something like that. Maybe you didn't want to spend as much time, but you're going to do a better job and it'll be more worth it. So that kind of an energy will hopefully play out for you. Um, and then the moon will go over to South Node into Libra. So use this time to throw things away. South Node is where you release, you know, get rid of stuff, do some enemas, do some fasting, purging, cleansing. Perfect time coming in next Tuesday. All right, that is it for this exciting astrological week. See you at the same bat time, same bat station. All right, bye for now. Thanks for being here.